Welcome to What's on the Show, a space where we bring you inspiring human stories, real people, real journeys, and the trumps that make them extraordinary. Today's episode shines the spotlight on a journey of a remarkable writer, a gifted storyteller with 7 published books. His work spans 2 short story collections, a graphic novel, a novella, and a compelling novels exploring the tribal life in India. His latest release, Twin Wind Situation, has been celebrated widely, winning prestigious awards and earning accolades at Pune Book Festival. Recognized by the Literature Times as one of the top 10 influential writers of 2024, his contributions to literature continue to inspire readers across generations. I'm your host Praveen Dighe, and it gives me immense pleasure to introduce me to acclaimed writer and an author, Mr. Chetan Joshi. Welcome, Chetan, to this show.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Nice to see you after so long.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, and thanks for taking time out to join the conversation.
But I love to talk anyway, so that's...
Absolutely. So we're meeting after so long. We're meeting after maybe 30 years now?
Yes, 35 actually.
Yeah. So, anyways, we'll be speaking about your journey as an author and a writer. But first thing first, let us introduce yourself. Can you tell us a little bit more about your childhood, how you grew, and what inspired you to be an author?
Well, there's nothing really special about that. But instead of other things, I was interested in books a lot. I used to read a lot of books. I had a huge library at home. I had a greater library in school. So I could see that so many writers have been writing so many beautiful books that have inspired so many readers. So many people have been coming into reading. So I always knew that, I always used to think that books are something that happen.
Yeah.
I never thought that there are writers who do that, I never realized that there are people who sit and actually write those books. I'd never seen one. But then what happened was, in school, once I felt like writing a story. I don't know why. I had found a book in school, in the library, and some of the pages at the end were gone. So what I did was, I tried to imagine what that story would be, and I wrote a few pages to complete the story in my way. That is how accidentally I started thinking that, okay, I have some kind of a potential in myself as a writer. And that's where it started.
Yeah, I know. I know you've been working as a IT professional, that was the starting of your career when you actually started working in the IT profession. So how was your transition? I mean, what triggered you to start writing? How was the transition from IT to...
I'll tell you, that's one thing I try to hide. I don't try to tell people that I was an IT professional at a point. But then it is something like this, in middle-class Indians families, whatever you do as part of your education is something you should carry on in your profession. So that is how I got into IT. And I had some ideas in my mind that, okay, I would do something in graphics, but that time softwares were not so advanced. And I did not get an opportunity to work with graphic softwares, to make graphic softwares. And
what area were you into?
Pardon?
What area of development were
you? We were into softwares for different corporate companies, then libraries, then hospital management softwares. But those were very basic as compared to today. So that is what I used to do.
And this was in which year?
I'm talking of 1990s, early. I mean 1991 to 2002. That is what my working period was.
Your actually writing journey started post 2020, 2000.
No. I have been a writer even before I became an IT professional.
Okay.
So I used to write when I was in school as well, with no idea that I would ever get published. So it was something like I used to think, the way people grow up, when boys grow up, they grow a beard, they grow a mustache. It's something natural. So I used to think that if you write stories, automatically they get published someday, automatically, as if it's part of the process.
Yeah.
So that's what I used to think. And then I wrote so many stories. At one point, I thought that let me give it a try. And then the books happened.
Absolutely. So how did people, while you started writing, you must have, there must have been people around you who pursued you in a different way. So, how did people pursue you as a writer during your initial days? What challenges did you come across while writing?
See, people thought I was a bit odd about these kind of things. Everybody used to sit around and play.
Because I
mean,
personally did not know. We've been together since long.
yes.
I was never aware that you had a flair for writing. So,
See, that was not something that I had a flair. I did not decide. That was something that's like somebody takes up a natural affinity towards a particular thing. Some people like to watch movies. They get into movies. They act. There are people who have a knack for engineering. So they go into something that is more structured or maybe something more analytical. They go into those kind of things. I just picked up a book. I mean, that was a natural gesture from my side. It wasn't something that was planned. And other people thought that I was a writer because I used to sit alone and read, and they did not read as much as I did. So that is why they looked at me in a different way that, okay, this person is more of a loner. That also was not the case. But if you find something that catches your fancy, then there is no explaining why you are doing something. As long as that habit is not harmful or antisocial, that by till then I think everything works. So my affinity was something I never judged it, or it wasn't somehow induced into me. It just happened. It was a natural way. Some people are sportsmen, others are not. So I mean,
great. So you've written a few self-help books, in a form of, kind of fantasy, which were meant for a section of people. So what triggered you to write self-help books in a form of fantasy?
see, I've said this before. I don't know, but self-help is not a genre that I was anyway planning to write. Because that I think is something, it is more of a person from a seat of authority, a person who knows how to help people or how he can offer some kind of advice to somebody. My whole focus in writing was to come out with imaginative stories, give them a new world which they may not have seen before. That was what my drive was. The self-help part was something which happened because there was a part of my life where I had taken lots of wrong decisions regarding finance, regarding emotional relationships, regarding friends, regarding academics, or even, as I said about IT, about career choices also. Okay. So I had seen these many changes. I mean, these many decisions were wrong. A friend of mine also was going through a similar situation. And in one flurry, in one moment, he just said to me, Chetan, there is a formula for everything as far as chemistry is concerned, or even for physics, physics phenomena. Why can't there be a formula for decision making? That was a striking statement he made. So that got me thinking, and I said, why not? His name is Charudutta Mashakar. He's a big industrialist today.
Okay.
So he came up with this idea. Let us have an idea. Let us make some formula for this. And we actually sat back and thought about it. And decision making, we could see that there are 4 ways of decision making. And we can come to that, I think, later. But self-help was not basically the thing. Unless, and then we came out with this story, came out with this formula for decision making. We'll get into that. How we did it, we'll discuss it as time comes up. I said I will not write about it unless I have embedded it in a story. So that story didn't come to me for 30 years around. That idea was there in my mind, this decision making formula, but the story wasn't coming up. And when the story came up, I said, okay, now I will be able to write it. So self-help was never the motive. It was about giving somebody a scintillating story. And that is what got me writing.
So aligning stories with self-help, that was the approach that...
Yes. And I did not want to just have a story which is going to carry that self-help as a... No, it's not. The story is not a plate which is carrying that self-help formula. Okay, I wanted the story and this formula to be melded so well that together you wouldn't be able to separate the two. One cannot stand without the other. That kind of a blend I was able to find. I'm really, really grateful that that idea came up and I was able to execute that. And the story, you wouldn't know when you read the book, the Twin Mill Situation, you'll realize, I think you've read it. So over there, you wouldn't be...
It's here.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be able to separate the formula from the story. One cannot survive without the other. That is how it was.
But how does the approach have a effect on the reader? I mean, and what is the age group that you're talking about?
See, the characters in the story are 13-year-olds.
Mm.
13 is an age, it's a magic figure. That's the beginning of teens. That is a point where a person is getting exposure to life in school. He's also being told that, okay, now this is the future that is going to be immediately coming up. So that is where the characters are 13 years old, but the knowledge that it gives or the insight that the book gives can be applied to you and me at this age as well. So even beyond 50 and 60, it will work. As long as the person has a reason to take decisions in life, he can read this book.
Right. So it's a innovative approach. I've never seen this approach. So how do you, there are several aspiring writers, authors. As a creative person or as a creative mentor, how do you inculcate this innovation in aspiring writers and authors? Because you must be mentoring a lot of aspiring authors.
Yes, I do that.
So this innovation, how do you inculcate this innovation in new, this approach in new?
Innovation as in self-help with this? I don't think I do that.
Okay.
Because writing should be something that comes in a natural way. It should be organic. As in the way we have trees, the way we have so many natural elements around, they do not have a geometric shape. So you cannot actually inject an idea into people's mind and make them write something. That has to be something that they come up with on their own. I will be giving them, when I have these workshops and where I mentor younger children, younger writers, even elder ones, what I do is I try to get their most natural self out. The most natural expression in the form of words is what I try to tap into. And once it is tapped, it is hard to stop them. So you just have to tap that one point from which there's going to be a lot of, gushing ideas. Ideas will gush out. I just have to tap into that, like a dowser. A person who's searching for water, he knows exactly where to tap. Once you get it, then you can't stop the water.
Correct.
So that is what I search for. Rather than telling them, okay, this is the way you do it, or that is the way you go, and this kind of stories are going to work out. This is the trend today. By the time they write a book, the trend is gone. So I don't want that. So I just tap into this and let whatever comes out.
Right. So if you remember, sometime back we spoke about authenticity in writing.
Yes.
While you've written a couple of books on tribal for Government of Maharashtra,
yes,
how do you ensure the authenticity of the subject? I mean, I see you've written a couple of novels on tribals.
Right.
So how do you ensure the number one, the authenticity, and what is the source of your research when you come up with such an idea?
See, since it was about the government of India, government of Maharashtra who had commissioned this project, they talked to me because they knew that I had the potential as a writer who would be able to observe with a third person's eye. And
so these are short stories?
No. These are novels.
Novels, okay.
Which show the daily life of characters over there. Government officials of different mindsets is who I met. Different people who have opposing views about a particular project. Somebody's commissioned a project. There would be somebody in the office who did not really approve of that idea. So I got both views from the government itself. Then I went and met the tribals over there. Then I met the social workers over there. Some NGOs that were involved. I met some persons from there. And from multiple sources, I was able to come out with a picture that I could create. So the image that I got about the tribal life was from different dimensions, and I just put them together to make this three-dimensional characters.
So which tribal area did you cover?
This was in Yavatmal.
Okay.
And Amravati.
And how much time did you spend there?
I spent around 3 months on and off.
On and off.
And while I was writing, I was also talking, this place is called as Chikaldara and Darini. That is where there's a tiger reserve over there.
Okay. So as a writer, what is your process? How do you start writing, irrespective of the genre? Whether it is a novel or whether it is a self-help book or a comic.
Okay.
What is your writing process?
See, if we say if we look at a process, then it sounds like a operation theater where actually, there is a particular way to do it. So there is no one particular way. But how I have seen it, there's a pattern that I have seen in my writing. Pattern in the sense that how a story comes about. I might be talking to you just now, but there might be another idea which is popping in my mind. So I might not just now write it down somewhere, but I'll register it in my mind somewhere, and just in a single line I'll write it down. After our conversation is over, I'll just write it down somewhere. Then sometime later, I will see that okay, I've got 10, 12 stories, 10, 12 ideas with me. Now I might not be in the mood to write the first idea that came to my mind. I might be in the mood of writing the second one or the third one. So I write a synopsis sometime. I keep it there. Let it marinate. Let it marinate. Let it soak in. And then when I have a longer amount of time, and when I see that, okay, this story is calling me. This may sound a bit spooky, but this one story is calling your attention lot more than the other ideas. So that story I would want to develop. And I do not wait for the research to get completed to write the story. I'll write the story as in one flourish. After that, I will try and fill in the details of the research. So if I'm writing a story about music, I don't know enough about music as an authority to write about it. But the story demands that. So I write the story. I'm assuming that okay, this person will be a musician and he will do certain things, and then I will go for the research. Some people might not agree with this way of working, but I would rather keep my inspiration alive rather than stop it because of the lack of research. So I write the story down, that's the first draft, and I will rectify things that I have gone wrong in that by having the research. So the research will follow. I will not wait for 2 years to complete the research, then write the story. By that time, that idea goes stale in my mind. So write the first draft, and then the research will fill in and rectify things.
Okay. Does it apply for children's books also, like comics?
Yes, it does. Now, we've got an interesting book here. This is Animal Palette. Okay, so what happened was, I had written the stories, and my friend Tejas Modak, he's an artist, he's a writer as well. He read those stories, he said, this is very good. Now we will make a graphic book out of it. And for making this graphic book, writing stories had to be edited.
But then my question is, do you write a complete screenplay like you do it for a movie or a short film? And then is that the starting point to write a comic or no?
No. First, we will have to have a synopsis. The entire story has to be written. Then you have to see which of the description will come as a picture itself and the description will disappear.
Okay.
So what I may have described in words, we'll end up turning a picture out of it. As over here, you can see that we have, this is one full page. Okay, this is one full page here.
Can you probably,
Yes. See, this is one full page.
Right.
And only little bit of writing.
Right.
That was the artist's decision. Okay. Over here, you see different panels, like in a comic book.
Right.
These are frames. And the writing is dominating the page. Okay, so this is the writer's, this is the artist's decision. That this will need more text and this will need more painting. Okay. So this balance is something that works out.
You write a story as a whole.
Yes. You have to write the story. Then he decides, okay, but so much of description, instead of this, we will just make a painting out of it. So this one page may have taken 3 pages for me to write. But he did it in 1 page here as a drawing. And we just kept the dialogues over here. So that is how it went. All the stories.
Great. So you've also written a script and a screenplay for a movie. What was that movie?
It's called Sarab. Ek aur Sarab.
Can you share that experience? How was the experience how different was that experience from writing a book?
That experience was absolutely very personal, because that was the first time I was seeing my story turning into another medium.
Yeah.
Because I had written stories till then, I knew the process, draft after draft. Over here, when you're going for the visual medium, I realized that though the story is important, it is a director's medium. Since it is a director's medium, it's a visual medium as well. So over there, I had to keep away the power of language, of description. So all the vocabulary was gone.
Mm.
The second thing was that well-constructed sentences were gone. The only thing that could attract or rather that would stay in the person's mind, the viewer's mind, would be the dialogue.
Mm.
And those two in Hindi.
Dialogues, I'll come to that.
Okay.
Complete.
Those two in Hindi. So, how does a piece of writing suddenly change into something which is now a visual? This process was absolutely dazzling. It was dazzling. You have to curb your own feelings that, okay, some better sentences should have come in the description. But that I have to curb. You have to control yourself and not feel bad that, okay, so much of your writing is gone. When it suddenly turns into this, it's like a transformation happening. It's like a metamorphosis. And then you say, oh my God, I'd rather have that as well over there. But you can't make it what do you say? I wouldn't want it to clutter up.
Right. You mentioned about dialogues, while you were writing this script for a movie. If you recollect, there were several in the mid-90s. There were several movies where the movies used to run on based on the dialogues that
Yes.
were written. So you don't see a lot of dialogues written in today's era. What are your views? I mean, during that time in early 90s or mid 80s, movies used to be successful based on the dialogues that were
Correct.
which you don't see now. So do you think there is some disconnect with writers and the dialogues that are written?
What has happened is they are trying to be more natural. They don't want to be dramatic anymore. Okay, the dramatics are in the action scenes. But when people speak, they would rather underplay. Today's films, you will see when somebody is speaking, he's not looking at the camera. He's looking at the wall and he's talking. He's looking down and he's talking. And he doesn't have his pauses. He wants to make it as casual or natural as possible. In the earlier times, in the earlier decades, they used to have emphatic way of speaking. Emphatically, they used to speak. They wanted to stress their words. They wanted to actually throw their emotion out at the public. Now they want to draw the public inside. Sometimes these experiments work. Sometimes they don't. And the problem is that is happening because Indian cinema, I would say Hindi cinema, is aping a lot of Western influences are there. I wouldn't say aping. I would say Western influences are there. Over there, people do speak in undertones. They do speak in lower voices. And maybe that is how their culture goes. So, speaking in a soft voice, only two people can barely hear each other is their way of speaking. Indians are not like that, by and large.
Right.
So, what happens is, suddenly we are sitting as Indians here and speaking like Westerners. So that way it creates a dichotomy. This creates a kind of a disruption somewhere. It sounds like confusing, and people are not able to relate it. Unless people have watched Western cinema, they wouldn't be able to connect with Indian cinema here. This is the condition, just.
Is it? True. So have you come across this concept called as writer's block?
Yes, I have.
How do you? Number two questions. Number one, can you explain what is writer's blocks? Number one. Number two, have you come across a writer's block and how do you handle that situation?
Okay. See, I'll tell you, writer's block, it's a Western concept basically. That is what Mr. R.K. Narayan had said.
Right.
R.K. Narayan said, writer's block is a Western idea. Only Westerners can afford a writer's block. Indian writers cannot afford a writer's block. So they have to work.
Right.
Whether they have a block or not, they shouldn't be caring about that.
Keep on writing.
Yes, that is the case.
Right.
So I really believe that until that actually happened to me. And what happened was, that time I was writing a lot of different stories. Somewhere I was writing I was ending one story here. I was editing another story there. Then I was writing a short story somewhere. There were different drafts that were there, and I tried to write one. It's not working for me. I tried another. That wasn't working for me. I tried another third. This happened for 15 days. For 15 days, I'm trying to write something, and I'm not going beyond a paragraph. I used to write copious. I used to write copiously till then. 15, 20 pages every day I could write.
Just not able to think.
Not at all. And I thought I've gone. I mean, that magic is lost now. Now Chetan Joshi is now he's not going to write anything. Yeah, he's gone before he actually arrived also that time. So I was wondering what to do, and suddenly one thing struck me. That was the best thing that ever happened to me till then. I said, let me write a story about a person who has a writer's block.
Okay.
So there I had that situation that I could describe very well, that there's a person who cannot write was the main situation. And that became a fantastic story. How the writer inside the story is able to crack his block. Fantastic. I really loved my story. It's called Quagmire in Turquoise Ink.
Okay.
It's like a that is when I thought, okay, I already have a writer's block. So instead of doing that, I said, let me write a story where a writer is having a writer's block. That becomes the plot of the story. That became the basis of the story, which situation I already was in. So it was very easy for me to describe that. And the frustration of the writer was so well described over there that became descriptive. And I realized, okay, I'm out of the block now myself. Now I have to solve the problem of that writer that is there in the
That
story.
is there in the story.
And then how he breaks that block inside the story. That became a fantastic challenge for me, which really helped me experiment with writing.
So I think this happens to every writer, right?
Yes, I think it does. It does.
Okay. So what was in your journey of being an author, public writer, what were the most rewarding and what were the most challenging situations in your entire writing career as a writer and an author?
The first thing was getting my book published, the first one.
Right.
You know, I had 3 issues. Basically, I had 3 fears in life.
Okay.
One of them was that one day, I would be stuck in an IT job forever, was my first scare. The other was that I will someday have to shave my mustache, which I did at a point and I still survived that. You know, childhood things, that time I used to think, oh, no. I was a youngster that time, so I used to wonder what will happen if I remove my mustache, how would I be able to face myself in the mirror? But then I could actually easily get over it. And the third was, and in fact the most primal fear was, if I don't get published ever. That I was really scared of, but that did happen.
Oh, okay.
So those things were taken care of. So I would say that today I'm fearless. So those were the things. Those were about my fears or challenges.
Those were the challenges.
Getting the first book published.
Right.
Because I used to write the kind of stories I used to write, I couldn't see a publisher who would like all of them together. But thankfully, stellar publishers really liked the variety of stories that I had presented to them. And they said, we'll publish this book. The struggle wasn't too much. But the uncertainty that the chances that I would come across a publisher like that, those were absolutely crazy. I mean, hoping for such a thing was beyond any control. So that was the basic challenge. That I took care of somehow. That got taken care of somehow. And one of the most rewarding things was when David Crystal is a linguist and a person who works on different languages, rare languages, languages that are dying. And I was able to connect with him and I could show my stories to him. And he says that you're a wonderful writer who has original stories, vivid descriptions, compelling plots, and you're a great storyteller. He's what he wrote for my book.
Right.
That happened. And another thing is, we have this book here, literally yours. This is set up in the Jaipur Literature Festival.
Okay.
The story is set in the Jaipur Literature Festival.
Okay.
And my co-writer, Asha Francis, she and we wrote this book together. And it is a commentary on Indian contemporary English writers.
Okay.
So this book was launched at the Jaipur Literature Festival.
Okay.
It's like, it's so cinematic that a book which is written about a particular event and the same book gets published in that same event. So this was a double whammy kind of.
Right.
Being able to write a story like that and getting the book launched itself over there.
The same.
In the same place.
No, one thing that I've observed and that I've seen is, most of your books are, number one, these are written in English.
Yes.
However, I observed that a lot of your books are also converted into different languages. For example, English to Marathi.
Yes.
And recently, you mentioned about some book getting published into Spanish.
Yes.
And French.
Yes.
How does that work? I mean, what made you take that decision? And
See,
do you think you have that kind of audience in that segment?
See, first and
Language
foremost,
segment.
yes, sorry.
Language segment.
Language segment, see, if your story is something that does not, is not very, very language dependent. See, basically we are Indians here, and though we are Indians, we can speak very fluently and comfortably in English. So I can bring my Indian culture or Indian way of thinking into my writing in English. So that means it already has that element of being translated. Okay, an Indian thinking in English and writing, he's already being able to translate his thoughts into English, right? So if that is the case, it can translate into any other language. So because the story has transcended the borders of language, it is those are not borders anymore.
True.
So that came about, and I have a lot of friends, and who are Marathi speakers. So they have read only very, very superficially. They have read my English books, and they said, okay, it would be so nice if we would have been able to read this in Marathi. Why don't you write in Marathi? But that kind of proficiency I do not have to be able to write as convincingly or as powerfully in Marathi. So, and coincidentally, since we are in Pune here, I was able to get in touch with publishers in Marathi. Since my books were already there in English, it was easy that so they had already crossed a particular qualification, and the book had been published in English. So they saw the stories and they said, yes, these are, I think we can publish these in Marathi. So most of my books have been published in Marathi as well.
Okay.
And about the Spanish thing, as you're saying, I got an award from the Yukioto literature.
Okay.
Yeah, so Yukioto Award for Literature that I received last year, and they were the ones they read the book and they said that, okay, we liked your story so much, can we now translate it into Spanish? Because they could have that kind of setup for distribution and everything. So then why wouldn't I agree? If it is going to a larger larger audience who read only in Spanish, suppose.
Right.
And now they are offering, now that the Spanish translation is done, now they are thinking of doing it in French as well.
Do you have it on Kindle also?
Yes, it would be coming on Kindle.
Coming on Kindle.
Yes.
Okay. Great. So what is the next that we'll be able to see? What is the next book that we will be able to see?
I don't know how I can answer that because there are several ideas going on.
Okay.
And
Are you writing something now?
Yes.
Okay.
What I have been doing was, I have been writing stories, and one by one, these novels, I take it on the editing table.
Okay.
So while this book was getting published, Twin Situation, that time I was already editing my next book. So that thing was now with the publishers over there. And the other book that is getting published, that should be getting published, I think, by the end of this year, hopefully earlier than that, is called The Myth of the Liquid Beast.
Okay.
The Myth of the Liquid Beast. So it's...
Can you give us a summary of that book, or you're not allowed?
No, I don't think my publisher will allow that. That will come at the right time.
Okay. Fair enough. So, what advice? There are several aspiring writers who who started writing or who want to be an author. You also mentor several people. You
Yes.
also mentor several aspiring writers. What is that one advice that you would give to any aspiring writer or a novelist or an author, or probably somebody who's writing for a film or a OTT platform,
Okay.
to make it successful in the industry?
There is no formula for that, one thing. And at least India does not have any kind of a system of making something successful. Okay? For publishing, I'm saying. For OTT, that is a black box altogether. That's a completely different ball game. So that is one thing. And
Sorry to cut you. Have you written for OTT?
yes, I have. Things are in the pipeline. Things are under consideration.
Okay.
Whatever that means. I don't know how much time they'll take to make something come out.
I'm deviating from my earlier question. How different is writing for OTT from maybe novels or a screenplay for a film?
See, for OTT or a film, I would say I would put them in a similar category there, is because the writer has to give up ownership of the idea after the story is done.
Oh, okay.
I would say this is a tragic thing to happen, but there are several factors which will change the story. One is economics, because it has to cater to a larger mass. See, it's like a person can read. Anybody who can read will be able to read a book. But anybody who can see will be able to watch a film. So you can see the difference in the standards. Here you have to be at least literate. Over there you can be illiterate and still you can watch a film and still have your opinions that the film is bad.
Right.
Which is not right or wrong. Nothing right or wrong about it. But that is the case. So you have to actually mellow down certain things. You have to tone down certain things so that larger number of people will be able to get that story. If you write for the elite, so many people are going to get lost. And then the economics doesn't work for a film. So that is the thing.
What are your thoughts about the current writing that is happening on the OTT? We see several serials and series on OTT like Netflix and Amazon and a lot of other OTTs. What are your views about the writing skills? Have you improved or have you deteriorated?
No, they have not deteriorated. Actually, it's a different kind of art.
It's a very complex.
It is a complex art because you have to work out in such a way that when this, web series is going to go on air, people from different cultures are going to watch it. Okay, you can't define who's going to watch it over there. It comes in subtitles. It comes in dubbed versions. So when that dubbing happens, when that subtitles come up, are they able to translate the meaning as powerfully as it has done in the original language? That's a very big challenge that they have to, and that is why the selection process is also very complex for the stories. So the writers have to do one thing, that they cannot act like kings. They cannot be, completely in charge of the story. They have to be able to work in a team. It becomes a team game. Writer being the person who takes the decisions, or the first, he has the first chance to put something up. But then a director will come in, the producers will come in, then their marketing team will come in. All of them have to be accommodated. So then it becomes a team game.
Correct.
That is a different ball game altogether.
What are these people exactly looking for in terms of a script? I'm talking about specifically the OTT platforms. Are they looking for any specific pattern of writing or a genre that makes the series or the writing successful?
That is a bit of a, what do you say? How do we start? I don't know. There are so many, all these OTT platforms, they have a different way of looking at things. They are searching for different things, which they want to be their identity. And that identity keeps changing.
Okay.
So, say suppose Netflix is looking for something, Amazon wants to outshine them by looking different. And then Jio Hotstar wants to do something else so that they don't get clubbed with some other, they don't get, what do you say, how would I put it? They wouldn't get replaced by somebody else.
Okay.
So they're searching for different things. So each wants to have an identity. Some people now say that, okay, we want local stories. Someone says we want a universal story. Now, how are you going to cater to all these things? So they have to search for their own market. They have to search for this. So that becomes
true. I hope we get to see a lot of your stories on OTT.
Yes, they would be coming soon. Yes.
So coming back to our original question, what is that one thing that you will share with the aspiring writers?
See, aspiring writers, I will not want to sound like a prophet or some kind of a saint. I would say, don't wait for that perfect story to come to your mind.
Right.
Don't wait for that one perfect story. What happens is, by that time, you've lost the bus, you've missed the plane, and you've missed the drive with it. See, this happens in your college days, where you've seen enough of experience. You have had enough of experience to see conflict. You have had enough of experience to say, okay, I have some command over this language or expression. They have seen this. But they are not confident because they haven't seen too much of life. So they keep on waiting. And then we have other people at 35, 40, 50. They say, I should have been a writer. I would have been a writer. But why are you saying that? And then they feel that they cannot now start anything. So my thing is, write bad stories. Write worse stories. Get them out of your system. And by that time, there's a great story waiting inside. You have to dig deeper to search for that one story. It will emerge. Like a volcano, it will come out. But if you remove the rest of it, rest of the stuff that is stopping it, something that is suppressing it, just throw out. You don't have to write something that is like you sound like Shakespeare here and Milton there and Byron there. You don't have to prove anything to anybody.
Right.
Get that thing out of your system. Then you can laugh at what you wrote. You can hide it somewhere. And when that great story comes up, you are the one who's going to be the happiest person.
And then restart.
Then restart.
So the whole bottom line is start writing first.
Start writing immediately.
Absolutely.
Just get rid of your mistakes by washing them out of your system completely.
Absolutely. So we're coming to the end of the session. How do you want your readers to remember you?
That is something.
You've written several books now.
Yes.
A few more books coming now.
Yes.
You also mentor several people. You're attached to several institutes where you teach script writing. How do you want your readers and your audience to remember you?
I would want them to remember me as the most imaginative writer they've ever read. I'm being very candid and straight. I do not understand humility because I'm not that great. Humility is for people who are already great. For them, it is great. They're benevolent people. They say, nothing more. I would say that imagination is the humans. It is a treasure for humans that even AI cannot challenge. Imagination. AI can come up with things that are a mesh of things, but an absolutely original idea. As of today, humans have to actually acknowledge that and see how your imagination can stretch, how far it can stretch. And there's a fantastic line I've heard somewhere, and I use it as my own. I would say that I use it like an anthem for myself. That is, only the impossible is worth the effort. So if you come out with an idea which you think is absolutely crazy, go crazy, write it, go wrong, mend it, and then you will see that this is better than what I've ever thought of.
Correct.
That is the kind of writer I would want to be, and even the people whom I would want to share my ideas with, I would want them to write stories which dazzle everybody. So that is the kind of, we have to elevate ourselves. You can't remain subhuman.
Absolutely.
You have to elevate yourself above your own expectations. So that is what I would like the writers to do, other writers, younger writers.
You just spoke about the AI thing. Okay, I've personally seen a few applications AI-based applications which will write a complete script for you.
Correct.
You give them one line and they will define the complete workflow of screenplay, including writing the characters. How do you see that? How do you see that technology shaping up in the writing area?
I will tell you one thing here, and that is AI should not be looked at as a threat. He is your ally if you allow him, or actually a slave if you keep him there. Because if I am a writer, I would not want my writing skill to be shared with something that is a collection of all ideas from the universe. AI, how it works, according to me, is whatever data it has been able have access to, it completely takes that together and puts it in one form. That is not an original idea. It's a mixture of all. And it's a concoction which comes to you in a concentrated thing because it comes in a few seconds. The way he says it, just a sec is what that first line comes up in Gemini. I just checked something on Gemini. So I'm a writer. I would want the human element to come into my stories.
That is missing.
That is missing. Yeah. So it might be grammatically perfect, but emotionally, is it there? Now you tell me, Praveen, would you like food to come to you from a packed food? Would that be preferable, or food cooked at home?
Cooked at home.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So this might be more durable. It might last 6 months also, but it's not organic.
Correct.
So that organic element is where I think humans have that capacity to not be perfect. That is the human element. Perfection is not what we should be searching for.
Right.
AI is trying to do that, which is good. They are not aping humans because they want perfection there in their writing. You will not find a grammatical mistake over there. It might go factually wrong. AI might go factually wrong somewhere because that's the information it had access to. But it will not be able to come up with irregularities that humans have.
Do you use it in your writing in some way?
Not really.
Not
What I have done is, no, not yet. No, I am saying I don't use it. The reason is, as a writer, I wouldn't want to use it. If a doctor uses it to, write a report, fine. He is not trying to show his writing skills. Okay. If an engineer uses it, that is not a problem because he is trying to save time. But I'm not going to try and save time. Otherwise, I should not be in this profession.
Correct.
As a writer, if I write by, I'm not saying write by hand only with ink, fountain pen. That is also nice. That is a romantic idea, romanticizing. Okay, I sit like this, writer's corner, and over there I'm writing with this colorful pen, and that's a different thing. But using AI is defeating the purpose why I started out writing. If I need AI, then I'd rather be in IT.
Correct. True. Great. So it was great speaking with you, and I look forward to more such conversations going forward.
Yes.
And I look forward to your new book and the OTT project that you're talking about.
Yes.
Spoke about that offline, and that is something that we are looking forward to. Yeah. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.